Hello everybody, welcome back. I'm the Stretch Professor, and today we're going to be starting a new campaign for Total War Warhammer 2. We're going to be doing the Dark Elves with Malekith on the Mortal Empires campaign, which just came out a little bit ago. Now, I did record a couple of episodes with the Steel Faith Overhaul mod, Steel Faith Overhaul 2, and I do like a lot of the changes they made, and it was fun. But they just made a change today where they're lowering the upkeep cost for additional armies to 5% on Legendary. That's too easy. That's too easy for me, because that's one of the biggest things about Warhammer 2 that I found really... I know a lot of people hated it. I found it very interesting. I thought it made it very, very difficult. The additional 20% upkeep per army, or 15% per army and 20% base, makes the game really, really challenging because you can't field very many armies at all, and you have to have a bunch of low-tier units and just make it happen with those units. And so, you know, at first they took it down to 10% when I was running it, and I was like, okay, fair enough, because they increased the cost of all the units anyways. But now they took it down to 5%. Increased, the cost is still increased, but you don't get penalized as much for running a bunch of armies. One of the hard things about Total War Warhammer 2 is you couldn't run many armies. You could only afford to, you know, maybe get like 2, 3, end game, maybe 4. Pretty cheap armies, and so it's a shame because I do like what they do over there. They do have some very interesting changes, but that just made it too simple for me. So if they change it in the future, I'll probably go back and do another campaign later with the Steel Faith Overhaul mod, because they do have some cool stuff that they add in. I did one already with Isabella von Karstein for the game 1, and it was some fun changes, but I think this one makes it too easy. So anyways, if this is the first time that you've watched my channel, I do what I call a pure campaign, so I don't assassinate lords, I don't multi-sack towns at the beginning, I don't abuse auto-resolve, I don't do any other, you know, kind of gamey or exploitative kind of stuff. I try to win doing good, hard-fought battles, and I deliberately seek out difficult battles. I'm not the kind of player who's just going to sit there and chill and just, you know, bide my time and find, you know, little exploits to win the game. I'm going to go out, we're going to fight tough fights, and we're going to win it the fun way, the old-fashioned way, just with some good tactics. So, doing Malekith. I already have a Queek campaign. I want to do some more Queek. He's the only person on Mortal Empires that is designated as very hard, but I already have one. So, you know, it would have been fun to do some Queek, but... Now, did they change the starting units for Mortal Empires, or is... Let me see.
I fight for the greater good.
Okay, they did. They changed his units. They changed the units for Mortal Empires, what they start with. And he's just called Hard. Okay. Interesting. Okay. So they did change around some of the starting units. I'm curious, did they change around... Because I'm thinking of doing Chaos eventually as well, but I really... The Steel Faith change for Chaos is not that great. But anyways. Okay, so why Malekith? We're doing Dark Elves. We already have a Queek campaign. I will probably revisit Skaven like very soon. I love them. But we'll do some other campaigns in the meantime. We have a Queek one and we have a Krotgar going on. So be sure to check those out. That's on the normal Vortex campaign, not Mortal Empires. So Mortal Empires, you have a choice between, with Dark Elves, Malekith and Morathi. Morathi is arguably the worst legendary lord in the game, I'm going to say. And the reason for this is it's all about money on legendary. And so you have to have... Your lord has to reduce the cost of something useful, or you're just going to have a really hard time. So she has no cost reduction, so that's already a huge strike on any major units. Loyalty's okay, I guess, but it's not going to matter. We're going to be fighting so much, everyone's going to have max loyalty, so that's not an issue. And the Chaos is actually, not only is it not good, it's actively bad. It hurts your public order, and as far as I can tell, the Dark Elves don't get any benefit from Chaos. So this actually really hurts you, and public order is a big problem on Legendary. Big, big problem. So, especially with the Dark Elves, because if you get a lot of slaves, it's going to crush your public order for cash. And frankly, I'm not even sure if it's worth it to get the slaves most of the time. Like, yeah, you get a little bit more money, but the issue is the public order is just so harsh. So we'll see how it goes, but yeah, that's just awful. And she's just not a good fighter. Like, she does have some spells, but if you want a super challenge, I guess you can take her, but she's not that great. Malekith is far better. This stuff doesn't matter. You're gonna have a lot of very high-ranking lords most of the time. Diplomatic is nice because that means you can bro up with Marathi sooner. But this is the big one. So upkeep minus 50% for Blackguard of Nagaron, Dreadspear, Bleak Swords, and Dark Swords. These are all your early game units. We'll talk about them as we get in there. So that's really good. So he's not like the best legendary lord, but he's acceptable. He's also a mage and a fighter. So he has some decent spells to start with, and he can fight. He has a good mount. He has really good lord skills and legendary items and things. So he's good. He's probably above average, I would say. I think the best legendary lord is probably Krotgar. Just because he gives everybody negative 10% upkeep, and he has 50% on like the core units, and just all this other stuff. Like Krotgar is probably overpowered in terms of his campaign effects on legendary. He's extremely good. So there's some good stuff. Queek's pretty good too. You get 50% off Clan Rats and Storm Vermin, and you get more menace from below, which is very powerful. So there are definitely some good legendary lords out there, but Malekith is much better than Marathi. Okay, we'll go ahead and start it. I'm not sure if it's going to give us the story or not. I'm thinking not, because it hasn't given us... Like, I guess you can just go watch on YouTube if you want to see kind of the introductory cinematic or whatever. It's kind of cool. But I assume for Mortal Empires, maybe they don't do it because the opening cinematic probably has something to do with Warpstone and, like, the Vortex and stuff like that. So, you know, you don't really need to talk about that with this because it's not Vortex. Okay. Let's go ahead and get in here. I'm going to break it up. I'm going to try to talk some, and then we're going to try to see if we can get into a couple of fights. So I believe we're fighting these people right now. How's the garrison look? Because I've only done this with the Steel Faith 2, so they do change some stuff. But I'm restarting it, like I said, because they made a change over the weekend that I didn't particularly care for. Can we hit it this turn? I think maybe we can. Okay, so let's talk about kind of general how it works. So you get slaves whenever you win battles or take towns. You get these slaves, and they impact your public order. So there's a certain amount that you can get. You can allocate a certain amount to towns, and you get income in exchange for public order. So we'll see how it goes. It's on Legendary, it's going to be hard because to keep up with a lot of slaves, because you get negative 12 public order just from difficulty and taxing an area. So that's pretty rough. There are a lot of Skaven here. There's some chaos. Local populace has 1, which is bad. So that's going to start hurting my public order. Having corruption, so we'll see how it goes. But the rights here, once you get a slave pen building, now there are ways to decrease slaves. So this one, get post-battle loot, income from slaves, casualty replenishment. Like, you get some nice stuff. You can sacrifice slaves, and you're going to have a lot of them. So this is not really like a huge deal, I don't think, to sacrifice some of these. This is pretty good. It lasts 15 turns rather, so performing an action with the Sorceress. Okay, so when I put the Sorceress in my army, it'll be an action. So this is actually pretty good to kind of level up Sorceress early on. That's really nice. +8 public order everywhere is actually pretty good. I could do that every 20 turns. Okay, so that's actually pretty nice. Demand highborn hostages commandment over a province. Okay. Slave pen. Alright. Is Black Ark? I'm not sure how that works. I think it's a recruitment center that you can take around with you on the seas. But the map is huge, and kind of the win condition here is pretty much you have to take everywhere. A lot of it. You have to control these 7 provinces, including places like Black Crag, Carrick 8 Peaks. That's the slave, or the Greenskin homeland, which is like way over here. Why do they have this much revealed, I wonder? That's weird, because you can't even get to this. pretty sure you can't get to that. It's only through here. So maybe this is where the next expansion goes. It's going to go over here or something. I don't know. But yeah, like Black Crag is going to be somewhere in here, and the Dwarf place is here, so Black Crag is going to be like here. So yeah, you just pretty much have to go over the entire world to hold these places. Altdorf, Corone, that's Human Place. Just the capital of every major city. Every major faction, pretty much. So it's going to be a long campaign. So buckle up. It's going to take a little while. We'll talk about buildings really quick and units, and then we'll go ahead and get into a fight. So we get a discount on these first 4 units: Bleak Swords, Dark Shards, Dread Spears, and Nagaron. So kind of this tier 4. However, this is Halberd Infantry. Halberd Infantry historically is pretty bad because it has a really low like swing rate, which is kind of an under the hood stat that you don't see that often. So the swing rate on Halberds is like 5 something. It swings once every like 5 something seconds, and on most people it's like 3.8. So really they end up doing like 40% damage output DPS compared to a normal unit. Something like that. It's a lot less damage. So that's why halberds are usually trash. They are pretty good against like heavily armored units. Large heavily armored units. I mean, these get a bonus of plus 24, and we do get half off. So we probably will get a couple of them just to help us with dragons and stuff like that. But they're really they're not very effective like against swords and things like that. It's just smaller units on the ground. So we probably won't get a lot of them, but we will be getting a lot of these. These are very cheap. The elves have very powerful archers to start with. I don't know why I can't like hover over that, but okay, it's the same thing. They do very heavy armor piercing damage, which makes them different from a lot of other elves out there. So they have less range, but they do very heavily armor piercing damage. So that's pretty strong. Bleak Swords, kind of basic infantry. I mean, they're okay. They're going to be really cheap, so we're going to have a lot of them most likely. So yeah, we'll definitely go up this tree. Up here, the bolt thrower is actually pretty good, especially for its cost. 175 is really cheap for some artillery. And then these Corsairs are pretty good. They're 150, but they get +7 versus infantry, so they're pretty decent. Now, they do cost a lot more than the Bleak Swords, because Bleak Swords I'm going to get half off. You can see here, this is 120 and 90. Oh, it's already counted as half off. Wait, this says 90 for Dread Spears. Does it already include the half off in this? No, because this doesn't include the extra 20% upkeep. That's what it is. So, we'll see about that. So we're definitely going to level this one up. This is an interesting... That's actually pretty tempting to get early on, because 20% reduction in cost. And you have a 10-stack town, which is really nice. That means every time you level up, you're going to get 2 more slots, which is good. And this doesn't give public order at all, does it? No. A lot of income. But no public order. Really nice garrison. Now, this is pretty good. I mean, 112 for early game cav that have a 40 charge bonus. So they aren't amazing, but 112 is so cheap on that. And then the these Reaper crossbow like bolt thrower things are pretty good too. So we might get this just for cheap cav early on. Nice flanking units. Shades are pretty trash. I mean, they're okay. Like, they're expensive. They do decent missile damage. They have a bit more range. They can fight, 40, 32. Like, they're all right. You're paying quite a lot. I mean, 40 32 is not bad, actually. 225 for 40 32. How much are these guys? These are 150 for 40 32, 28, 30. I have 30 armor. So you're paying up to have kind of the dual missile infantry, but they do a lot of damage. A lot of armor piercing damage, and they can fight if they get into combat. So I don't know. We'll see. I feel like these are way too expensive. The dual weapons and the great swords. Not on legendary, but 225. I just still feel like I'd just rather have dark shards and just protect them better and just have more dedicated, like, strong infantry units. So we probably won't get these. They are nice. They do have versatility about them, but you're just paying too much for them. Death Hag is very good because you get to replenish troops, and she has a really sweet mount. So we're going to get this pretty early. And the Untainted 6 is going to be really nice for public order purposes. And these are pretty good, these Witch Elves. So they have low armor, heavy physical resist, so you don't want them to be on the front line. But they're pretty decent flanking units, and they really tear up infantry. They do have Frenzy, and they get plus 8 versus infantry, and they lower melee defense by 10. And they cause units to rampage, which means that the AI can't really micro them when that happens. And they're only 200 gold, so they're pretty effective. So yeah, the Dark Elves kind of lack that tier 3 like super power unit. You know, they don't have a Rat Ogre. They don't have, I guess Croxagores are tier 4. They don't have like Cold One Riders. They just don't have a really like hardcore unit at tier 3. As you know, the Witch Elves are going to be as close as it gets. Harpies are okay. Like, they're cheap. They can fly in, flank in the back. So they're decent. And once you get to tier 4, this is when you start getting some more interesting stuff. You can start getting your Sorceresses up here. Cold One Chariot's a bit expensive for what it is. It's okay. But Cold One Knights are pretty good for 250. They get that bonus versus large. Yeah. So, you know, they're kind of like the Lizardmen Cold Ones, but I believe they have a higher charge bonus. They can go crazy with Primal Instincts, but they also get Murderous Prowess. So they're pretty good. Pretty good anti-large. You know, so they're alright. Blackguard and Aggron alright. Hydra's interesting. It's kind of expensive. 450 is quite a lot on Legendary because, remember, we're going to be paying up a big price for them. They do have a lot of missile resistance. Siege Attacker, and then they have 2 forms of regeneration. And pretty good breath, so they're okay. K9 Assassin's kind of whatever. He's alright. These Executioners look really good for 300. They have 100 armor, heavy armor piercing, 14 versus infantry, and they have the upgraded Murderous Mastery. And these do as well. And what that is whenever you kill so many units, then most Dark Elves get this bonus for 90 seconds. They get it for 120. And they get a couple of extra perks if they have the Murderous Mastery versus Murderous Prowess. Like this is Prowess. It only lasts for 90 seconds. It's not quite as good, but it's close. Cold One Dread Knights are a lot more expensive. I'm not sure why. They have 120 armor. I guess that's a thing. 42 weapon damage, 48 weapon damage, 42 charge, 56 charge, 38, 36. Okay, they have much higher base. But they aren't anti-large. Speed 66. Speeds. Yeah. They're pretty good. Oh, that does give public order as well. That's nice. Okay, so some of these buildings do give public order. Dragon, of course, is good. It's very expensive, but it's good stuff. Does anything else give public order? I don't think so. Other than like your standard like public order building over here. You can get up to plus 10 public order, which is pretty good. for armies starting in their turn in this region. Okay, so I don't think that's province-wide. I think that's only region. So anyways, that's the building. So we're going to try to get to Witch Elves. We might do some Dark Riders early. These are good, but they can't firewall moving. But they're pretty good harassment units. Are there any of these that can firewall moving? I don't know. But we're definitely going to go up this tree. We're going to go for the Witch Elves, and then we'll see from there. We might get this just for a little, like, some cheap cav. Okay, let's go ahead and get started, then we'll talk about the skills and some other stuff here in just a little bit. Alright, so let's go ahead and roll up here.
Sister of the Dark Convent. Dole shall be mine.
I am the Witch King.
Alright, and we'll hire. Get a tech. This is pretty modular. All you have to do to move up in the next tech tree is just have the first 3 things here done. Then you get to move up. So it's pretty simple, unlike something like the Skaven where you really have to plan ahead. You have to get certain buildings. Lizardmen as well. You got to plan ahead. You got to get certain buildings. This is pretty straightforward. So we're just going to get the growth early on so we can tech up faster. And we want the public order. Anything is public order. You got to get it. That's actually pretty good. Range, ammo. That's just bolt thrower stuff. That's pretty good. Okay, but anyways, this is where we're going to start. Alright, let's go ahead and look at what we have going on here. Haganeth. They're fighting Hmong.
Our dread king welcomes you. What do you wish to discuss?
Alright, not him.
Cruel dreadlord.
I mean, she only has 1. She has 3 spots.
Speak, kin, and I will gladly hear your request. Agreeable.
See if we get some trading going on here. We'll try to play nice with some of these people over here. We're going to kill these people to the south and probably expand south and try to work our way down towards the High Elves. If these people want to chill over here, I'm cool with that.
Ruthless.
Why don't they like us? Or they have aversion. If they have a strong aversion to us of like -30, they're going to fight us most likely. If it's just a -10, we can deal with that. I'm not sure if that's just a legendary thing or not, but wait, what are they fighting? Oh, okay.
Lord of Fear.
Wait, who is it? How many does he have? He has 3.
In Nagaron, the strong thrive and the weak drown in blood. As you say.
We'll try to chill with him. We'll see how it goes.
Command me.
Wait, who is she? Wait, who am I at war with?
Cruel dreadlord.
Wait, who is this? Hag Grief is that person.
Be quick.
Oh, this person's down here. Yeah, they're gonna be in our way. We'll probably not mess with them. These guys are some old punks. We'll probably just take them out. Yeah, they're done. We'll kill them. And Clan Septic, we're definitely gonna kill them. Alright. So we kind of laid it out. So these people over here, we're gonna try to chill with if we can, and then we're just gonna like massacre and set up everything over here. It's kind of our initial conquest plan. You don't want to fight everybody at the beginning if you can. You gotta have some, gotta have a little restraint. Okay, that's done. Rights. Can't do any rights yet. All right. I did upgrade the building, right? Yes, upgraded the Nagaron building. I was about to go crush some Skaven. I hope. And that sucked too. I wanted to use the Steel Faith overhaul, but they're making it too easy because so many people were crying, I can't build 5 armies, wah. You know, like, I'm like, dude, then don't play it on Legendary. Like, you can play lower difficulties and you will not have like the same penalty, but Legendary should be hard. Like, newsflash, it's Legendary, like it should be difficult. Okay. Dang it. So it's gonna take me one more turn to get up here than I wanted. I think, yeah. So we're just gonna roll up right here. What do we have? Ambush, raiding, channeling. Okay. Yeah, they lowered the public order penalty by 2, kind of. The combined is 10 instead of 12, and then the lowering the upkeep per army from 20 or 15 down to 5 is a little much. The units do cost more, but I don't know. We'll see. I might revisit. I'll probably revisit it once they balance it out a little bit more. I just feel like this is far harder right now. Just the standard game. Okay, we got Clan Septic. I mean, I could just auto this, but people probably want to see a fight. I don't want to just auto resolve my way to victory. So we'll fight it. I mean, on Legendary, they do get a lot of bonuses. They don't fatigue as much. They have better missile accuracy, which is very good with the Skaven Slingers. You know, the Legendary gets a lot of perks. They get extra leadership. You get a leadership penalty. They don't fatigue as fast. So, you don't want to underestimate some of the Horde factions, especially on Legendary. I figured that out in the base game. Because the undead in particular are really tough on Legendary for some factions if you underestimate them. Alright, so we're going to switch over to this. Now the fire doesn't do a lot at first. He has a lot of armor, right? Yeah, we should be able to. Oh, okay. Getting a little smarter with this clan rat placement, huh? I think they said they improved the AI in this, which is nice. Where's that? Oh god. Damn, they're getting smart. They really are.
Dread spears. My blade hungers. Chariots. Battle forms. Dark shards. Druki, forward. Battle ready.
Sorceress of blood! Kill everything!
Hack, cut. Murder awaits. Cold-blooded killers. At once, carnage awaits. Slash, kill.
Hear my words.
With pleasure. Advance, Druki. Advancing.
Sister of the Dark Convent! Striking out! Setting forth!
Malekith.
Striking out!
Slay them. End them. Battle ready. Kill them. Eager for battle. Die, weaklings. Dread spears. Dark shards.
Sorceress of blood!
So you cast that on people, it hurts your own people. But you get a lot of magic back if you do that, so. Alright, let's just chill. Let them rally back. It's fine. Don't chase too far.
Merciless warriors. Black gods. We understand. Dark shards. At once. Dealers dead. Chariots. Death. Dealers in death. Dark shards. Merciless warriors. Murder awaits.
The dark shall reign! Swallow that!
Blood for Cain.
Die! On! Tomato! Oreo! Oreo! Oreo!
Why can't I do it? I don't know. Okay, Murderous Mastery. There we go.
Dealers in death. Advance, Druki. With pleasure. Carnage awaits.
Damn, my Nagaron are getting smoked.
Fear me. Hear my words.
Get back, get back.
Moving out. Nagarothi. Without question. Onwards to murder. Merciless warriors. To destruction.
All shall tremble.
Dealers in death.
Setting forth.
Seeking carnage!
Kill everything. Glorious destruction. Red spears. Dark elves. Suffering for all. Dark shards. Slaughter them. Chariots. Kill them.
Yeah, see, it was a bit harder than they were telling me it was going to be with auto resolve.
Shards. Merciless warriors. Dark shards. Ruki. Massacre them.
I thirst! Blood!
Battle ready. Battle calls. To destruction. Dark shards. Battle ready.
Yeah, that bar at the top, I guess, sort of talks about how many kills you need before you get to the Murderous Mastery.
Fight Cain. Onward.
Yeah, so they banged me up pretty well there. I didn't see which level this town was. So I don't know if I want to just occupy or loot and occupy.
Carnage awaits.
Occupy, well, we'll talk about it here in a second once we...
End them.
Dang, that has some range on it. I think Legend of Total War is doing a Dark Elf campaign as well. I'm not entirely sure, but I think he is. I know he doesn't like the game very much, but I guess he just feels compelled to do it. He does have a YouTube channel, and you know, his viewers probably want it enough to where he'll do it. He likes doing the older historical Total Wars more. Wow, that chariot killed 200 and like 300. If that chariot's a little bit better than I thought. Certainly, it's very good against Skaven. This Nagaron killed 260. Yeah, the Skaven AI placement of those Menace from Below was much, much better that fight than it had been in my other campaign, so I think they've definitely improved the AI on that. That was really a pain in the butt. I dropped it right on my artillery, which is what they should be doing.
Search it, then burn it.
So you do get some slaves and replenishment. But you get negative 10 provincial instability. I thought it used to only be 5 for sack. I guess they changed that. I really don't want my public order to be torn up yet. Like, I want to be able to make the rounds and get all the way around and get all these towns before before I go for it. So, like, loot and occupy seems pretty bad. That's almost always a terrible choice because you get negative 30. Whereas I could sack. I would get a little more money. Like, I can sack and then occupy.
Spare me. I show Warpstone. Search it, then burn it.
Spare me, I show Warpstone. This would give me slaves if I sack opposed to occupy. Just like, are those slaves worth a building? Like, I could potentially get an intact building. Like a tier 1 building.
Loot it. We will return. Take it. It all.
That gives you negative 10 right off the bat. I'm trying to think. Yeah, I think if I sack and then occupy, it's only going to give me the occupy penalty. I think I'm going to sack and then occupy.
Another slaughter awaits.
6 weapon damage. That's pretty good.
I am the Witch King. Carnage awaits. My cruelty knows no limits.
So, okay, we did get the building, but it's banged up. That's pretty banged up. It's like we got 600 gold, but the problem is, you know, we have to pay an extra 1100 to repair it. Now that does help with the public order, conquest, provincial instability, but now we have to deal with devastation and slaves. Like, that is not worth it at all. Like, 52 income for negative 2 public order, that is not worth at all. It's really bad. I mean, maybe if you get like a ton of slaves, like maybe times like 400. But that'd be like negative 16 public order. I mean, I guess there are things, like there are buildings and other things you can do that reduce the public order stress that you get, but we'll see. Damn. We're gonna have to repair this now. I should have just normally occupied it. It wasn't worth it to get those slaves for 52 gold per turn or whatever. Who cares? It's probably not even worth it to get the slaves, honestly. Until you have, like, all the bonus buildings. You should just probably just occupy most places. Because, yeah, this is really, like, a lot more expensive than usual. I mean, it does heal on its own, but it's only half efficient in the meantime, so that really cuts into my growth, and it causes public order problems for devastation. I think we're just gonna have to eat the cost, yeah, and we should just normally occupy so that we don't take that penalty. I mean, we did get, like I said, we got 400 something gold out of it, but I had to pay 1100 to fix things, so it's probably just best to occupy now. I think they've increased how much damage and how much it costs to repair for these buildings, because in the base game it was almost always best to sack and then occupy, which seemed a little weird, but they fixed it. Now it's the same -10 per turn, provincial instability, and you get a -10 base instead of a -30, so yeah, they've balanced it out.
Malekith, king of Nagaroth.
Okay. They're just going to be normally occupying a lot of stuff. Okay, as far as the skills go, you're almost always going to go Root March or Inspiring Presence, and then just sort of feel it out from there. Typically, you want to get 3 points in your early game stuff, so that's this. Dread Spears, Bleak Swords, Black Heart Corsairs, all that good stuff. And then you want to go into the blue tree until you get deep into the blue to get Lightning Strike, which allows you to 1v1 any armies, even if there are reinforcements there. Quartermaster for upkeep reductions, mandatory. Extra 15% replenishment, and then an additional upkeep reduction. All about that upkeep reduction. So that's all good. And then other things, that's what we'll probably go first. We'll probably go Root Marcher, because I think we're going to win the battles. I just want to be able to move faster. You never want to get the solo stuff. You never want to get the magic on your lords. Almost ever. There are a few exceptions. If there's a really powerful lord like Teclis or something, maybe you'll get some of that stuff. But for the most part, with your core lords, you want to get the military stuff in the blue tree, and then just get the sorceress buildings and just have the sorceress as a separate thing that gets your spells. Okay, and then up here, it's tough to say. Tyrant, motivation through fear is 20%. All provinces, slave decline rate, and public order penalty is down. This is only in your local provinces. You get these huge bonuses, but we're not going to be sitting around. Like we're going to be expanding, rapidly, trying to. So we're not going to be sitting around in a lot of really rich towns to take advantage of this. Now, leadership, upkeep, and post-battle loot is very good. I think you have to choose either this or this. More casualties, income from looting is huge. Extra replenishment rate is huge. And the magic drop chances, okay. We're not going to be getting a lot of lords or hero. I mean, we will get some heroes, but it's okay. So the question is 10% upkeep for all units more useful? Minus 10% upkeep? Or is it more useful to have plus 20% income from slaves? I think the way that I've worked this out is, are you going to have 10,000 from slaves or 20,000 upkeep from units? Because most of my serious armies are probably going to be at least 4,000 upkeep, if not 5,000. So if I have 4 armies at 5,000, that'd be 20,000 cost. So 10% off would be 2,000 per turn, which is huge. Or with slaves, eventually, how many slaves would I need for that? Like right now I have 500 for 52. So to get to 10,000, I'm going to need just like an astronomical amount. Like 10, so I'm going to need like 5,000, 10,000, I think. Times 10 be 520. I don't even know. A lot. I think I calculated it up before, and I need somewhere around like 30 settlements, maybe more, which I'm gonna get as the campaign unfolds, hopefully. We'll see. We have time to think about it. But yeah, that's sort of our game plan for right now. We can hire a couple more. Not sure if it's necessary. We may just want to save it. Like, we don't want to hire more than we need to kill things. That makes sense. Like, we want to run on the... We want to run on fumes. If we can. We are going to be facing a bit more Skaven. I'll tell you what, let's just get a little bit more frontline here. These are pretty cheap. Let's just go with this, and that'll be good. These are nice and cheap. We still have a lot of... So it'll give me a nice, like, more robust front line. Because the Skaven just try to pile all around you, and I'm going to have to deal with them, like, busting up with a menace from below. Okay. So our main goal, before this rebellion happens, we need to run over here, grab Ultimate Darkness. We're going to come down, grab this, and then we're going to try to race before these guys attack me, or before a rebellion pops up. So that's kind of our game plan. Okay. Let me look at...
Dreadlord, away. Come now, time is precious. Speak, speak. Definitely not.
Alright, what else we got here? Haganeth.
I'm sure your little message will be most...
Malevolent lord, the Druchi are malicious and cruel. Speak carefully.
Okay. Oh, I could sacrifice the slaves. I'll do that before my next fight to level up my Sorceress, because the Sorceress does have some pretty good stuff. Oh, we're going to get a rebellion pretty soon. Am I crazy, or... I thought the light was flickering or something, maybe. War declared. Okay, she did level up. Now, they changed this to a wind spell, which is actually pretty cool. And I tried this out in the other campaign. I wasn't sure if it was a Steel Faith or just like the base game. The base game changed this to a wind spell, which is actually pretty sweet. So I think I'm going to get this. It worked out pretty well before. We have to get one more spell in Fireball. One more point in Fireball. Oh, and they added some new graphics and stuff too. It's cool. So Fireball is good. Kindle Flame. I think like this is gonna make Fire actually pretty good. Like Fire was already one of the better magics you could get. So that means like this is a slow moving burning. So you can just like throw this along the back line. It's pretty strong. And then this is good too. It gives 25% extra weapon damage and gives you fire and magic damage on your ability, so it cuts through physical resistance and anything that takes extra fire damage like trolls, hydras, anything that regenerates will take extra damage. This is a good just sort of 1-point wonder, like for 4 mana or 4 Winds of Magic, just to buff up your lord, make him a little tougher. And then this, everybody takes 22% extra damage. So this is a wombo combo. If you cast Flaming Sword, everybody gets fire damage and 25% weapon damage, and then this adds 22% weakness to fire. So now, since this is fire damage, they're going to take 22% more damage. This is almost like 47% damage. That's a lot. So that's a pretty big deal. That's some nice stuff. That's some nice stuff. And then Piercing Bolts is kind of expensive, but it does pretty good damage. Flamestorm is a vortex, so it's very difficult to control. It lasts for a really long time, so you know there's a chance that, you know, like in a siege or something, this could be really nice. I really wish you could cast this up on top of walls. That would be awesome, but they won't let you do that. So pretty good little selection of spells, especially kind of in the lower end, which is nice. So not going to be... Oh, that's pretty nice. It's not going to be nearly as strong as like the Plague Priest or Skaven, which I think is the most powerful wizard in the game. Hero in the game that uses magic, rather. I think like Teclis, and there are a couple other ones that are more powerful in terms of wizardry, but pretty good, pretty good. Okay. So we can't quite get there just yet. Alright, I think we're good just to go over here. Kind of full speed ahead. What? I think we can still take them. If they want it, they can come get it. Now next turn we can go ahead and do this right. And we could hold on to this, but it will give her some experience. Just nice. Alright, over here, what we got? 2,000. Now in order to get a black arc, I need one of these. Pretty sure. Right. Slave pen, which is... That's what that building is, right? Slave pens, yeah. Okay, so I could hire one black arc. I mean, I could get slave pens in every town. And if I had a bunch of slaves, I mean, I could see that getting pretty high. So if I have like 5,000 slaves, be 100, 500 per province. Yeah, I could see that being income from slaves, income generated from slaves. Yeah, so I guess if you have a lot of slave pens in all your towns, they kind of start amplifying off of each other. I don't need these to recruit right now. I think I want the marble. It's income, slabs, and 20%. So that I can use that 20% if I wait on that to recruit or to get some of these other buildings. Do they not have a defensive building? Like gives better garrison or whatever? Wow, I guess they don't. Oh, these all give garrisons. Okay. Wait, this does. No, it's just recruitment. Okay, so this place doesn't have like a garrison building. I mean, it does have a really nice garrison anyways, but... Yeah, because this does, right? Yeah, this has a garrison building. Watchtowers. I've learned that's a lot more important in Warhammer 2 because you just don't have enough armies to, like, handle all the stuff they're going to throw at you. So I'm going to wait a couple of turns before I upgrade these things just to save money. I guess it's not really worth... I could just do Trinket Maker for now and just sell it later if I want to. 150 for, what, 750? Public order is definitely a thing, but there's going to be a rebellion. Like, there's no way around it. So that's not going to matter that much. I could just get this, and then later on, if I want to sell it, I can. Or I could just go ahead and grab this. Maybe I'll grab this. I can get a couple of these in my army. Nope, not that. It's a pretty strong army. I don't know that we really need the horses right now.
The people are displeased.
Yes, it's only if I save what 20% on it, it would be 150 gold. And then this is going to be 150. I would have to wait 2 turns on it, so I'm just going to go ahead and buy this, I think. And then if I need to sell it, I can later on, which I will. But for now, I think that's probably the best thing I can do. Just get a little cash out of it. Okay, diplomacy. Just see if anyone's changed their mind about anything.
You stand before the Black Court.
Lord of Fear, the Black Court is a dangerous place.
Be quick.
Yeah, they're kind of in my way.
Feared by all. The Black Court waits with bated breath. Short-sighted.
Alright. I feel like some light in here is blinking, but I don't know which one unless I'm going crazy.
My cruelty knows no limits.
Why are we?
Lord of the Black Tower.
Oh, because he's hiding down here or something? It's gonna be a rebellion in a couple of turns. Yeah, we don't really need that yet. I don't need these like the shields are nice, but we don't really need them. We're not facing heavy missile fire. Weak swords are pretty good. Those are pretty legit, but I at least want to wait until I get the 10% off to save me 200 gold, because every piece of gold matters right now. Okay, I want this Altar of Ultimate Darkness for sure, and this is gonna be Skaven. We're just gonna auto this. It's nothing there. It's gonna be a complete slaughter.
Merciless host. Attack.
See if we get one more fight in this episode. Okay, getting that cash. I think it's just occupy. I just really don't care about these slaves, and I don't want to repair banged up buildings. Oh, this one. Oh, it is only -5. It said -10. I thought it was telling me it was -10. Vamir Balefiend. Oh, that's a follower? Okay. That's like an actual unit for Norska. Those are pretty good, too. I think it's a hero for Norska. It's got some nice flavor to it. Okay, we got our extra trinket shop here. So it was such a better bargain. It just resets the provincial instability to -5. Yeah, the corruption, the taxes are just extreme. Wow. -4 corruption. -4, yeah. Now my slave costs are down. Guess it's because I'm only at 8% slaves. Income increase, 8 point. Oh, it's based on... Is the income based on how much income you make in your town? So if you have a town that makes a lot more money, the slaves help that? I just noticed this. Public order -1, decline per turn 0%. Huh. And there's no decline on slaves right now? Huh. Okay. Oh, it's 8% of total capacity, not 8% extra income. Is that what it was trying to say? Income increase 8%. Oh. 8% of what it could be, I guess? Max. I don't know. Whatever. Okay, so this place has a cool building, though. I think this altar. Tier 3 I can get. Altar of Ultimate Darkness. Order recruit rank. Plus 5% tax rate is awesome. And then +1 for Sorceress is pretty good. And +3 wins of magic. Okay. Legit. Alright, so now we're going to have to decide. So we're getting a little more cash here, which is good. They don't have great, like, basic cash flow stuff going on. They just really need to try to work around the slaves to get money. Okay, so we're doing Inspiring Presence. We're going to want to get to Line Breaker here. Okay, we just finished our tech. So we get extra growth. One public order is not going to make a big difference right now. And chevrons are good. Leadership's good. Income from sacking settlements is good. We're probably not going to be sacking a lot, though. Not yet, anyways. Eventually, once we start sacking some really, like, built-up, fancy places, that might be worth. So we'll keep that in the back of our mind, but... I think we just want the growth right now. Okay. Okay, so that's pretty sweet. Oh, I forgot to do this with her. I'll wait until we're gonna do like a major fight, because that plus 30 power reserves actually pretty good once she gets some more magic, especially. So we'll hold on to that. Man, highborn hostages. Okay, so we got to get this soon because I really, really want to do that as much as I can. That'll give us 40 public order in all these places. Okay. So now we have to choose. Do we want to go down and fight Skaven to try to complete our province? I think we do. And then we want to like dash back over here as fast as we can before the rebellion does us in. Okay. So we're going to be able to dash down, probably fight. So dash down next turn, fight. Then there'll be a rebellion, and then we have to run back and deal with the rebellion. Now, once the rebellion tries to sit on our town, it should be pretty easy to fight because we have a pretty good stack here, and the town's going to have like a 14 stack or something. So we should be able to beat them. Now they're going to come over here and start creeping. Okay. Okay, so we're going to have to hire a lord here, most likely. That's going to be expensive. God, it's so expensive. I'm not even sure if it's worth upgrading. You get anything extra for upgrading this? Not really. 25% off. It's not gonna be worth. We have, let me see. Garrison wise. I have 14 units. Pretty good garrison. We're gonna need a lord. I don't know what they have.
No.
I got some shades. We can go out and kill the shades. I'm not as scared about that.
The people are displeased.
Cult of Cain and Cult of Pleasure. What are these Cult of Pleasure buildings? Is that for Marathi or something? It must be a Marathi thing. I don't know. Okay, so the Cult of Cain is this stuff. Okay. That doesn't really matter then right now. I do want sword and shield though. I don't care about the crossbow. She only has 1 to 6. I guess we can go ahead and get her. Oh, it burns. So expensive.
I command you now.
And we can try to recruit. They are likely going to siege us. What do I need here? Dark Showers. We have 4 archers. I guess I could use like 2 archers.
What violent delights.
See if they'll let us buy 2 archers. I don't think they're going to do it. I think they're going to siege us next turn.
Noble of Nagaroth.
I think we can hold this 15 on 19. Because I could go out here and just kill all these shades with the cold ones. I think we're going to have an advantage.
Master of cruelty.
Like with those cold ones, if we can just get around and flank them. Bleak swords and these black guards, I think we can deal with them. Okay, so we're just going to not worry about it then, and we're going to head down south and try to deal with these Skaven. We're going to be fighting a lot of Skaven, so maybe like just one more... One more Dread Spear. If they siege it, I'm not going to get it anyways, but we'll try. As much as I would like to increase these, it's just the region. All regions of the province are 20% off. That's pretty good. Right now, the public order is just so bad that I don't think... let's see, if I get 3 public order places, that'd be 12. But we're getting like -20 per turn. Corruption taxes. Instability will go away.
I have no equals.
I guess maybe I can go ahead and upgrade this Ultimate Darkness, because I do want to get to this at tier 3. That's something I'm definitely interested in. So I guess we can go ahead and grab this. This is not even worth upgrading, honestly. 1,200 for an extra 75 gold per turn, and pay for itself in like 10... I guess maybe like 20 or 23 turns, maybe. Maybe it's worth it. I don't know. Yeah, there's gonna be a rebellion there. Alright, well, we're almost out of time. That's been a fun episode, though. Okay, there's the rebellion. Yeah. So she cut me off, so I didn't get any recruitment.
My powers are growing.
Okay, sweet. I'm gonna try out this burning head. Alright, can I see sort of what... Okay.
Noble of Nagaroth.
Alright, can I just take a peek at him?
We are
Kill, kill, kill!
Oh wow, that's a lot of shades. Holy crap. Yeah, I should be able to crush them. I think. Dang, that was a lot of shades. Jeez. I don't know, actually. That melee attack and melee defense is pretty good. I mean, they do a lot of armor piercing. Well, missile damage, not normal damage. Weapon 30. 28, 34, 30. 40, 32. There's only 80 in a stack. There's 120. I'm just trying to think, can I actually beat those guys on the wall? I think the Black Guard of Nagaron can definitely beat him on the wall. Then I can maybe gun him down. Like, I can go outside the walls and run him down with these guys and kill him. I'm pretty sure. Obviously, we're going to decline to attack, but man, that's tough. Some tough stuff going on there. But, I mean, they're going to siege us, or they're going to attack in like 2 turns, so. Man, that's harder than the other one, I think, on, what was it? The, Steel Faith Overhaul. I feel like this is even harder. That's a lot of shit. I mean, that's like a full stack of tier 3 units, like a 20 stack siege in my capital on turn 7. That's pretty rough. I mean, that's like over half tier 3. Like there's no way possible I could even have these units. Well, I guess no, those are tier 2, aren't they? Those are tier 2.
We will hold them off.
Yeah, but I just got my tier 2 building. Like, I could have just completed it. So they obviously started with their town at tier 2, so they could recruit all that. So, you know, the AI gets a lot of perks, which is good. I mean, that makes it hard. Okay, how much time do we have left? I want to fight the Skaven here, but I don't want to go too far over on time. I'd like to keep these to about an hour. Yeah, we're already past. Okay, well, we'll have to get it next turn, or next episode, so stay tuned. I don't mean to cliffhanger you, but I really do need to try to keep these to like an hour to hour and 15. Sometimes in some of the other campaigns, we get like some hour 30 episodes, and although that's fun and that's good and everything, I need to try to keep it to an hour to hour 15, just so people can kind of like, you know what they're in for, or they can budget their time. But hey, it's getting exciting. It's fun. I mean, this already looks like it's harder than the Steel Faith Overhaul mod, so that's good. God, I really want to fight this. I want to try out that Burning Head wind spell. It looks fun. It lowers their leadership too. Ooh, it said I wasn't losing many slaves. Maybe it's because they siege. When they siege me, I lose a lot or something. I don't know. How's this rebellion looking? Pretty annoying. So they've got some tier 3 stuff. Yeah, they got the Corsairs and the repeater bow. So yeah, we're in it. We're in for it. It's gonna be a challenge. So anyways, that's gonna be it. Thank you very much. Hope you're enjoying it, and I'll see you next time.